There we go. That's beautiful. Sit down. Come on. Sit. There we go. Isn't that perfect? Oh, knows where the camera is. Oh, anytime.
Yeah, now.
Oh, I see. Well, good evening. From three of us. This is
Glenn,
a neighbor. And this is Sonnet 40. It's a beauty, though a little tricky. Don't you want to hear Sonnet 40? He hates Sonnet 40. Okay. Take all my loves, my love, yea, take them all. What hast thou then more than thou hadst before? No, love, my love, that thou mayest true love call, all mine was thine before thou hadst this more. Then, if for my love thou my love receivest, I cannot blame thee for my love thou usest. But yet be blamed if thou thyself deceivest by wilful taste of what thyself refusest. I do forgive thy robbery, gentle thief, although thou steal thee all my poverty. And yet love knows it is a greater grief to bear love's wrong than hate's known injury. Lascivious grace, in whom all ill well shows, kill me with spites, yet we must not be foes. What did you think of that? Not much. Hi, excuse me. You know, I feel really sorry sometimes for William Shakespeare about the things he didn't have, like iced coffee, for example. Poor man. Sonnet 41. Those pretty wrongs that liberty commits when I am sometime absent from thy heart, thy beauty and thy years full well befits, for still temptation follows where thou art. Gentle thou art, and therefore to be won. Beauteous thou art, therefore to be assailed. And when a woman woos, what woman's son will sourly leave her till he have prevailed? Ay me, but yet thou mightest my seat forbear, and chide thy beauty and thy straying youth, who lead thee in their riot even there, where thou art forced to break a twofold truth. Hers, by thy beauty tempting her to thee, thine, by thy beauty being false to me. A little sad, isn't it? Bye. Sonnet 42. That thou hast her, it is not all my grief. And yet, it may be said, I loved her dearly. That she hath thee is of my wailing chief, a loss in love that touches me more nearly. Loving offenders, thus will I excuse ye. Thou dost love her because thou knowest I love her, and for my sake, even so doth she abuse me, suffering my friend for my sake to approve her. If I lose thee, my loss is my love's gain, and losing her, my friend hath found that loss. Both find each other, and I lose both twain, and both for my sake, lay on me this cross. But here's the joy. My friend and I are one. Sweet flattery, then she loves but me alone. Charming. Big one tomorrow. Stand by. Good night. Hi. Well, this is Sonnet 43, one of my favorites. And you're probably all very familiar with it. But for those who might not be, I just want to point out one thing, that the word wink that occurs in the first line doesn't mean, it actually means sleep. Just keep that in mind. Okay, Sonnet 43. When most I wink, then do mine eyes best see. For all the day they view things unrespected, but when I sleep, in dreams they look on thee, and darkly bright are bright in dark directed. Then thou, whose shadows doth make bright, how would thy shadows form happy show to the clear day, with thy much clearer light, when to unseeing eyes thy shade shines so? How would, I say, mine eyes be blessed made by looking on thee in the living day, when in dead night thy fair, imperfect shade through heavy sleep on sightless eyes doth stay. All days are nights to see, till I see thee, and nights bright days, when dreams do show thee me. Well, it's sonnet time again, but I thought that yesterday it would be a refreshing change to shift from the modern to the medieval, and I love those videos of sonnets. So here we are, Sonnet 44, and this is about separation. If the dull substance of my flesh were thought, injurious distance should not stop my way, for then, despite of space, I would be brought from limits far remote where thou dost stay. No matter then, although my foot did stand upon the farthest earth removed from thee, for nimble thought can jump both sea and land, and soonest think the place where he would be. But thought kills me that I am not thought, to leap large lengths of miles when thou art gone, but that so much of earth and water wrought, I must attend time's leisure with my moan, receiving naught but elements so slow, but heavy tears, badges of either's woe. It's not nice being a parson. Hi. As I said yesterday, this is a two-sonnet theme. And the first sonnet, 44, was about the elements. And the elements in this one were earth and water, which are thought to be the dullest elements. In this one, the elements are air and fire, which have a different impact on us when we're subject to them. So, Sonnet 45. The other two, the other two, slight air and purging fire, are both with thee wherever I abide. The first my thought, the other my desire. These present absent with swift motion slide. For when these quicker elements are gone, in tender embassy of love to thee, my life, being made of four, with two alone sinks down to death, oppressed with melancholy. Until life's composition be recured by those swift messages returned from thee, who even but now come back again, assured of thy fair health, recounting it to me. This told, I joy. But then, no longer glad, I send them back again, and straight grow sad. That's difficult. I might have another go at that tomorrow. But for now, thanks for watching. I didn't know what day it was. I didn't know which day to apply to this. It's getting very confusing, isn't it? It is actually Monday. Monday?
All day.
All day. Thank you, Sonny. God, what would I do? So here we have Sonnet 46. And this again is one of these double-headed ones. By double-headed, when I was a kid, I was a train spotter, and a double-header was when there were two engines pulling one train. Mine eye and heart are at a mortal war, how to divide the conquest of thy sight. Mine eye, my heart, thy picture sight would bar. Mine heart, mine eye, the freedom of that right. My heart doth plead that thou in him dost lie, a closet never pierced with crystal eyes. But the defendant doth that plea deny, and says in him, thy fair appearance lies. To cite this title is empanelled, a quest of thoughts, all tenants to the heart, and by their verdict is determined the clear eye's moiety and the dear heart's part. And thus, mine eye's due is thy outward part, and my heart's right, thy inward love of heart. I thought that was going to be very difficult, but it turned out to be a lot easier. Bye. Sonnet 47. Betwixt mine eye and heart a league is took, and each doth good turns now unto the other. When that mine eye is famished for a look, or hear, or heart in love with sighs himself doth smother, with my love's picture then my eye doth feast, and to the painted banquet bids my heart. Another time, mine eye is my heart's guest, and in his thoughts of love doth share a part. So, either by thy picture or my love, thyself away are present still with me. For thou no farther than my thoughts canst move, and I am still with them, and they with thee. Or if they sleep, thy picture is my sight, awakes my heart to heart's and eyes' delight. Lovely. Nice sentiment. 48. How careful was I when I took my way, each trifle under truest bars to thrust, that to my use it might unused stay from hands of falsehood in such wards of trust. But thou, to whom my jewels trifles are, most worthy comfort, now my greatest grief, thou best of dearest, and mine only care, art left the prey of every vulgar thief. Thee have I not locked up in any chest, save where thou art not, though I feel thou art, within the gentle closure of my breast, from whence at pleasure thou mayest come or part. And even thence thou wilt be stolen, I fear, for truth proves thievish for a price so dear. Good night. Hi, Sonnet. Sonnet? That's not promising, is it? Sonnet 49. Against that time, if ever that time come, when I shall see thee frown on my defects, when as thy love hath cast his utmost sum, called to that audit by advised respects, against that time, when thou shalt strangely pass, and scarcely greet me with that sun, thine eye, when love, converted from the thing it was, shall reasons find of settled gravity, against that time do I ensconce me here, within the knowledge of mine own desert, and this my hand against myself uprear, to guard the lawful reasons on thy part. To leave poor me thou hast the strength of laws, since why to love I can allege no cause. Sad.